In Iran's northeast is the province of Khorasan Razavi. In the capital, Mashhad, the 8th Shiite Imam has been laid to rest. Imam Reza's holy shrine is the most sacred religious site in Iran. Tourists from all over the world travel to Mashhad with a resolution to make a pilgrimage, and that's indeed what they do. But the hospitable tour guides in Mashhad make an itinerary for you to see everything else that this holy city is honored to have.
This is a journey to the great land of Khorasan, and specifically Mashhad region. A glorious destination with lots of religious, cultural, and natural attractions. But remember something, that our wonderful experience does not start at this destination.
It actually started here, right on this train. And I joined a bunch of travel geeks in this trip.
These travel geeks are a bunch of young and old guys and girls who have visited almost every corner of this country. Traveling is not just their hobby, but it's actually their job. There are tour guides from all around Iran traveling together to Mashhad for their annual gathering, which is a huge event. It's a tour of tour guides who have different visions and expectations about their destination.
مشهد شهر زیارت، شهر امام رضا.
مشهد مرکز خراسان، زادگاه بزرگان ادب فارسی خیام، فردوسی و عطار نیشابوری و مولانا در بلخ خراسان بزرگ.
خراسان، فیروزه نیشابور،
نادرشاه افشار،
امام رضا.
Every trip to Mashhad, no matter for what reason, starts from here. A place that re-energizes you with holiness and spirituality. The holy shrine of Imam Reza.
Ali ibn Musa Reza, also known as Imam Reza, is the 8th Shia Imam, who was buried in a village in Khorasan, which afterwards gained its new name, Mashhad, the place of martyrdom. His holy position made his tomb a sacred place for pilgrims to worship. Millions of people pay pilgrimage to the holy shrine, undoubtedly the largest and most magnificent of its kind every year. Apart from Imam Reza and the holiness of this region for Iranian Shia Muslims, Khorasan and specifically Mashhad is the birthplace of some of the greatest and well-respected poets, mystics, and philosophers of Iran.
The great Ferdowsi was born and died here, but truly he represents all these different ethnic groups from all over Iran.
Today, the tomb of great Ferdowsi is hosting hundreds of tour guides from every corner of Iran. And this is not just surprising for me, but also for this event's special guest, Ruby Roy, who is the Vice President of the World Federation of Tourist Guide Associations. She has visited Iran 4 times so far and is still planning for the next trip.
It is really impressive, not only the number of guides, but the welcome and how each guide speaks about their region and how passionate and how much they love their areas. So each one knows and are knowledgeable about it, and this is the key thing about tourist guides around the world, and it really does show that here in Iran.
The Persians regard Ferdowsi as the greatest of their poets. For nearly 1,000 years, they have continued to read and listen to recitations of his masterwork, the Shahnameh, in which the Persian national epic found its final form.
Ferdowsi's epic language is so rich, moving, and lavish that it truly enchants the reader. Personal touches in the Shahnameh prevent it from falling into a dry reproduction of historical narratives. No history has been so eagerly read, so profoundly believed, and so passionately treasured in Iran as has the Shahnameh of Ferdowsi.
The city of Neyshabur and its famous mystic poet, Attar Neyshaburi. In order to tell you about his greatness, it's enough to say that Rumi once said, Attar has traversed the 7 cities of love, and we're still at the turn of one street.
These cities of quest, love, knowledge, independence, unity, bewilderment, and the city of deprivation, where the wayfarer loses his previous identity and becomes one part of the whole. Attar tried to express his eminent mystical concepts by utilization of simple symbolic stories, meant to be comprehensible for everyone. He has left behind many poetic works, but his masterwork is the Conference of the Birds, in which Attar narrates a journey of thousands of birds towards invincible Simorg. A journey in which the birds experience 7 cities of love, and most of them cannot survive.
Today is 29th of Bahman in Persian calendar, a calendar which is based on Jalali calendar, created more than 1,000 years ago by contribution of Omar Khayyam, a great philosopher, mathematician, astronomer, and poet. He was truly a genius for his time, and he was called the great philosopher of the world.
Khayyam himself rejected any association with the title philosopher in the sense of Aristotelianism and stressed he wishes to know who I am. Khayyam the philosopher could be understood from 2 rather distinct sources. One is through his rubaiyat and the other through his own work in light of the intellectual and social conditions of his time. There's nothing more pleasurable than finishing an exciting day in Nishabur, next to the tomb of the great master Omar Khayyam, and reciting his poem. We are no other than a moving row of magic shadow shapes that come and go, round with sun-illumined lantern held in midnight by the master of the show. Here's another beautiful day in Mashhad, where almost 600 tour guides are getting ready to move on and see the rest of the attractions of this region. What would be better than starting a day with some amazing Khorasani folk dances and music? Super talented performers from all around this region gathered at this beautiful garden to welcome us and show off their amazing skills. Some of these performances are way more than a dance and have strong roots in the cultural and spiritual aspects of lives of people of this region, like the wheat dance or alfar, which shows steps of planting, tending, improving, and harvesting the wheat in a farm. Now we're off to the outskirts of Mashhad and Torqabeh to get some fresh air and enjoy the mesmerizing sceneries of this region for the rest of the day.
Being on a tour with almost 600 people, it's a lot of fun. But let me tell you something, it's not an easy job at all, because there's no time to relax. And being here out in the nature is something that I really needed to have. Apart from the holy shrine of Imam Reza and the magnificent mausoleums of Khayyam, Attar, and Ferdowsi, just few kilometers away from Mashhad, there's a steppe village called Kang, a symbol of pre-Islamic civilization in this region.
Just 40 kilometers west of Mashhad, surrounded by Binalud mountains, there's a steppe village with houses on top of each other that has given a very special character to the natural beauties of this region. I'm not the only one loving and enjoying this nature and its mesmerizing sceneries. I can tell you that there are tour guides from other regions of Iran on this trip who are actually appreciating this way more than I do.
دیروز زیبایی اشعار عطار و خیام رو ما توی آرامگاهشون درک کردیم و امروز با این روستای زیبا به اوج رسیدیم.
برام جالبه که ببینم کسایی که از اون سر دنیا به اینجا سفر میکنن وقتی که از یزد بیارمشون اینجا و اون کویر رو با اینجا مقایسه بکنن احساسشون رو برام بگن.
I personally love every moment of this trip, but people have different experiences and different tastes. So I asked around all these tour guides to find out what was their favorite spot.
من شهر نیشابور، مقبره خیام.
روستای کنگ به خاطر معماری فوق‌العاده زیبا و منحصر به فردش.
کمال الملک چون از نقاشان بزرگ و همشهریم هستش.
خیام برای که خیلی حس خوبی داشت.
خیام و فردوسی که رفتیم خیلی خوب بود ولی خیام یه چیز دیگه بود.
فردوسی برام خیلی ارزشمنده.
Shahryar Azimi for Iran.